very much for taking time out. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
So, obviously, World Cup victory means a lot, and everybody's spoken about it. So, what I want to understand is from you, when you won the semi-finals, that was beating Australia, it was big, right? And when you win a match like that, you're like, काम हो गया, जीत गए. फाइनल में वापस कंसंट्रेट करना एंड बिकॉज एक्सपेक्टेशन बहुत ज़्यादा थी लाइक फॉर द मेंस वर्ल्ड कप ऑल्सो इंडिया वन ऑल द मैचेस एंड दे लॉस्ट इन द फाइनल्स और उसके बाद एवरीबडी नोज पीपल आर डिसअपॉइंटेड. तो प्रेशर भी था, फोकस भी करना था. सो व्हाट वाज द थॉट प्रोसेस गोइंग इनटू दैट गेम, द फाइनल्स, आफ्टर बीटिंग ऑस्ट्रेलिया?
I think one thing we discussed as a team that we haven't come here to win a semi-final. We've come here to win a World Cup. That was the first thing which we discussed. So I think that discussions around all of those things.
Yeah.
And from the time we started our prep, like 6 months for the World Cup, we always thought of winning the final. So when we won the semi-final, I mean, we did celebrate that. Everyone was extremely happy around it. But I think it took an hour for all of us that we were like, okay, the job's not done.
Yeah.
I know beating Australia, chasing the kind of total we did, not only beating them, but beating them in the way we did.
Yeah.
That was pretty special. But again, for us, it was that the job is half done,
Yeah.
and everyone was in sync. No one felt like it. No one who did well also on that day or something like that. No one actually had in their head that, oh, okay, World Cup's done or something like that. So yeah, again, like the prep was for us was like next day again we went on the ground for practice, thinking that okay, how do we get better?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, for us, we always thought of winning the World Cup. So semi-final was just a milestone. And then the series which we did in against Australia before the World Cup,
Yeah.
that's when we started believing that, oh, okay, we can beat Australia. We don't have to think that, oh, Australia is Australia.
Yeah.
So for us, beating them was okay, it's fine. We've just like crossed one hurdle.
And I think that was the first time we've beaten Australia in a ICC event.
I think we've beaten them.
Long time back.
Yeah, we beat them in 2017 as well in
It wasn't the first time.
Yeah, it wasn't there. We won the T20 World Cup. That's what we always beaten them, but the crucial moments sometimes we didn't go against it. It always went against us. So we knew on our best day we can definitely beat Australia.
The speech that Jemmy made after the semi-finals, where she was praising everybody. She's saying that I was struggling, and it takes a lot of courage, for somebody to say that, and people appreciated that. The speech that she made, and like everybody, we could see that, standing for each other, supporting each other. So you have the captain, you have the vice captain, you have the coach. That's the team management, So what was or how difficult was it for the team management to get this unit to work together like a team, because that was the essence of that victory, just working as a team, supporting each other. Nobody was a star. It wasn't about Smriti, it wasn't about Jemima, it was about all of you together. So how much time did that take, or was it natural for all of you?
Yeah, I think it was very natural because we've been playing together for the last 1.5 years. And after World Cup, I remember in a interview, I said that this is the best humans possible together in a team because everyone, even when we lost 3 matches in between and we didn't know what's going to happen in terms of qualifying, but everyone was just looking out for each other, being there for each other, and making sure everyone is all right. So it, of course, in terms of the support system for us was around giving them that confidence that we are the best team in the world. But getting them all together, I think it just happened extremely organically. Everyone. It also started from practice sessions, being there for each other, having those, like, if someone's having a niggle, everyone was like just right there. And it, again, these things you can't really, like, you can maybe get everyone to bat well, field well, or bowl well. I think these things best happens when it's done organically. And I think this World Cup, it happened like very organically. Everyone was just, they were only enjoying each other's successes. Everyone was just happy for each other. There's no like, yaar ye usne kyun kara, ye kara. It was just a very nice family kind of an environment.
And like you said, we lost few games in the earlier stage. Something that you remember which cheered up everybody, or was it just one game that turned it around, maybe an innings? What was it in the early stage? Because we were losing some games.
Yeah, we started with winning 2 or 3, and then we lost our track in between with South Africa lost, then Australia and England. And we knew New Zealand and Bangladesh we have to win. But again, after England, we all sat down as a team and we said that we are not as bad as we are looking. And maybe if it's outside world is thinking that we are not good enough, but we know that how much we have worked hard. Yeah, that flight from Indore to Mumbai was a tough one, but everyone had that kind of a belief that we'll do it. And more importantly, everyone knew how important that would be for women's cricket in India, because that's a battle we have to keep fighting every time to get everyone watching women's cricket. So if we didn't qualify for a home World Cup, it would put us 10 years or 20 years behind again. The hard work we've put in for the last 5-6 years to get women's cricket where it is, that loss would have meant a lot in terms of taking us back again. So that everyone had that. So if you have a bigger purpose, I feel it happens. In general, if you think about your own self or be selfish around a lot of things, I think God doesn't bless you. If the purpose is bigger than what it has to be, I feel it always works for you.
Yeah, I think that's very well said, because purpose was that was driving you. So it wasn't about any individual, it was just the bigger purpose. And we saw that, all the past cricketers, how they were celebrating, and you girls passed on the trophy to them. So it was a big deal, for all of us.
It happened very organically.
Yeah.
They were all doing their commentary bit, and we just were taking a lap. And yeah, again, it's a part of like the women's cricket is whole like a family, and I'm happy that we kind of had that.
No, I think for the sport also this is phenomenal. I was talking to a journalist post the victory. It was just like 2 weeks, and he was asking, how will it have an impact on the business of cricket?
Yeah.
I said it's too early, but then there was this coach that I had spoken that morning, and he said that we had, in that academy there were, I think, about 100 kids and 4 or 5 girls. And he said within this week only, 7 girls have come. Maybe they were not good enough, but just the fact that there are more girls who are coming.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that will follow through this victory. Because that's what happened in '83 when we won the World Cup.
Right. Yeah.
From hockey, the national sport, cricket became the national sport since then.
No, again, that the magnitude of this World Cup, you're going to understand a lot in like next 3-4 years when we see a lot of participation. But again, in general, for women's sport as well, for India to celebrate the way we did after the broadcast numbers, everything. I mean, everything was so good that it's just the best thing for the sport. And not only cricket, but I think women's sport in India.
Okay. So next question is related to that. Now winning the World Cup, there is more attention. More media attention, fans, people are obviously there's going to be more pressure, right? And now if we talk about Smriti Mandhana individually, that attention, that pressure, commitments, how do you handle that? That's my first question. First, you tell me how do you handle that, and then I'll ask you the second part of the same question.
I think मेरे से तो ये 3-4 साल से था, like in terms of the expectations or commitments and all of those things. It was not like extremely new for me. A lot of girls for sure after the World Cup started getting like understanding that, oh, okay, this is also part of life and all of that. But for me, I feel it started like in like 4-5 years. In the last 4-5 years, I had that kind of an expectations. And more, to be fair, like I have so much expectations of my own self from in terms of performance that लोगों का क्या है? I mean, it doesn't
bother you.
It doesn't bother me. Because like for cricket, it's like you score 100, I'm the best batter. You get a 0, I'm the worst batter. And that's how it's gonna be every time. You have to keep going out, proving yourself. So it doesn't really matter कि वो लोग क्या सोचते हैं.
नहीं मैं लोगों की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. What I'm talking about is, see, you have your sport, like the sport commitment, then you have your training commitment, then you have so many other things, and it's not easy. Sometimes you feel you want a break. Sometimes you feel that there is too much pressure of you would not have time for yourself. मेरा वो
वही बोल रही हूँ, मेरे को वो 3 साल से फील होता है कि like.
But how are you feeling? Do you feel like एक time break चाहिए? I don't want to do anything for some time.
I think I enjoy the sport a lot more than, like, genuinely I don't think myself doing anything else. And when I go out to bat, other commitments of everything, of course, it's like I have to do it and all of that stuff.
It is a part and parcel of
I can't escape it, but that's not something which I do out of choice. Like, again, it's like, but batting is something I can feel anything in the world, but when I start batting, I'm just going to enjoy. So when I play cricket or I'm on the field, that's the, like, I just find myself, I'm at the best version of myself. So I don't think I would ever want to break from that because that's the happiest. So for me, it's not like something which you're like doing a job. It's genuinely a lot of like passion is involved in it. So when you don't think of it as that way, you don't get really like frustrated or like you start doing. And my family is also, they travel a lot. If I miss them, they come along and they will be there around. So that way I'm not homesick as well.
So talking about family, and I have heard your interviews before and I've read about it, is that they were supportive, and it's not an environment every kid would get at home, be it a boy, be it a girl. A message for parents, because you see both kinds of parents in India. आपने भी देखा होगा, एक पेरेंट है जो कहता है नहीं नहीं सिर्फ पढ़ना है, राइट, स्पोर्ट नहीं करना है बिकॉज यू हैव टू मेक अ करियर irrespective गर्ल और बॉय, लाइक आई सेड. एंड एक पेरेंट होता है जो एकेडमी में कोच का सर खा जाता है.
करेक्ट है.
मेरे बच्चे को ही इंडिया खेलना है या मेरा बच्चा बेस्ट है. अ मैसेज फॉर parents who are who have kids who are aspiring to play any sport at whatever level, a message for them basically.
I think what my parents did the best is they let me just be the way I was. If I wanted to practice extra, they let me practice extra. If there are days where I felt like, oh, okay, I don't want to, they didn't force me that I have to still. Or I was decent in studies as well, but they were like, it's your choice. Whatever you feel is right. But not that they just let me do all those things. They always guided me in terms of if I'm going wrong, they would be like, this is what we think you're going wrong, but you still can correct it. So they were always there to guide me, but they did not make those choices for me, and they let me make those choices, which is, I feel, for me it empowered me a lot. Like I was pretty mature as a kid. I understood a lot of things in terms of when I was a kid as well. So I feel it's also very important for parents to let the kid be the way, because sometimes that expectation, जैसे कोई आपने जैसे बोला कि मेरे बच्चे को ऐसे ही बनाना है, this has to happen. Unknowingly or knowingly, that kid's going through a lot of emotional up and down, because they have to always show up in a way where they have to prove them that, okay, I am doing this right and all of that. And other ways also, again, with studies. So they have to keep proving them that, no, this is a future. So that burden dena hi kyun hai bachche ko. Let them just do what they feel like doing.
What they're passionate about.
Yeah, and then guide them, of course. And guiding them is important, but not telling them ki ye karna hai, wo karna hai. I think that really helped me. Even now, I get a 0, I get a 100, my mom will be like, "Khana khaya kya?" I mean, they don't care. They are like, when I go back home, it's not like cricketer Smriti. They're just like, okay, my daughter is home. They don't care about what's happened. So I feel that environment also makes you like less vulnerable around the sport, and you're just enjoying each and every moment.
I think that's very well said, because the pressure that is there at home for that child who's playing a sport, and there will be failure. So this sport, what it teaches you failure. How you can manage your failure is what sport is all about, and it trains you for your future, people who can manage that. So I think that's very well said, for parents to realize that if that environment is positive and conducive to failure, then only you should let your child play. Otherwise, I think it probably plays on the psyche.
And whoever you'll ask, I feel they'll always say that failure has actually been a crucial part of their journey than only the successes.
Absolutely.
And there's so much judgment around. Like as kids or now for us, I mean, every place you step, you go anywhere, there's so much judgments around, like, oh, this is happening, she's playing this way, that's happening. You want to go back home, or you want to go back up to a place where you can just be yourself. And if your parents are also going to judge you, then it's like a very scary place for the kid to be. So you always would want to go back to a place which you call home, is like, okay, I can just be. Regardless of me scoring 100 or 0, I know I can just go back with the same smile, and they're going to accept me the way I am.
And while growing up, while playing cricket, at what age did you realize that that there is an opportunity to make a career, or was it there in your head from day one?
I think it was only passion more. From like, I started at 5 and then got into stage side at 11 and all of that. But till I remember 14, 15, I went for a camp which they had put like young ones in the Indian camp just for the experience. And I saw the likes of Mithali Di, Julu Di, and all of those people. And I was like, oh wow. I mean, I
Sorry,
also.
what age were you there?
I was 14, 15.
14,
Yeah, they had just put like 4, 5 of us just for the experience of it. I like.
Where they were practicing.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the same camp, we were like the 5 substitutes which were added, but we were not in the part of the team, just for the. And then I was like in awe of all of them. I was like, okay, I have to also work really hard. I'm still not there. I know I'm still not there, but I have to work. So that day I went back and I wrote in my book in terms of what I have to work on, and I want to get there and play for India. Till then it was just like the love of batting. I just loved batting, nothing else. I didn't love fielding. I didn't like training, nothing. I just loved batting. Then after then I understood that there's a lot of more aspects to cricket. So that's when I took everything seriously.
And early years, when you were, maybe 14, 15, that age, what was the turning point? Was it one good innings in a game, or in like a local game or a state level game, that turned it around for you, where people started believing in you?
There was
Which
this
game was that?
one whole season of under 19 and senior cricket where got few runs. Like, I mean, we won under 19s. I was leading those. Then all the zonals and seniors, wherever that year, it was like a golden touch. Wherever I went, scored, got maybe 7, 8 centuries and all of that stuff. And that year is when that changed a lot of things. I don't remember which year that was, but that's when people started noticing me as a kid. And then I remember playing one Challenger trophy where they used to have 2 senior teams and then one under 19 team, which was the green challenges. And I was in that. And the red and the blue were with all the stars of like Juludi, and everyone used to bowl to us. And I remember smashing the 2 teams and I got like 80, 90 runs. And that's when everyone was like, oh, okay, there's a new kid in.
How old were you then?
I think I was 16. And then I debuted at 17.
That age, okay.
So after that challenges is when because of course you play at a under 19 level and still a senior level. But when you go out in a challenger trophy kind of a place where you actually bat against the international bowlers, that's when that's when the selectors believe that, oh, okay, she can be good. And then that's next tour I was drafted into the team. Now, there was no turning point where I was like, okay, I want to play for India. But there was this one camp when I was 14, 15 that drafted us 5 people in the main squad just for the experience. And I saw Mitudi, Juludi, and all of those people. And I was like, oh, okay, I really want to work hard and get there. That's when I went back and then worked really hard on whatever shots I wanted to work. And then I had this one nice season where under 19s or any matches I played, I scored a lot of runs, and then people started noticing that, oh, there's this one kid who's good to play.
Yeah. And coming to the SG bat story, so I remember before your official contract with SG, you had started using the SG bat, and Tuhin reached out to me. He said, although she's with another brand, but she's very fond of the SG bat, and as a policy, like we would not take our bat to a player who's putting a different speaker. And Tuhin was a little convincing. He said, no, Paras, you have to, we need your help. And she's really after me that, she wants to use the bat. And then we changed the policy. I said, okay. He said, okay, we are happy to pay for it. He's like, we're happy to pay for it. I said, paying doesn't matter. The policy was probably a bigger thing over here, but we tweaked that.
Yeah.
But what was the reason why, because obviously there are so many brands out there, and did you start using it in the early years, or what was the story behind that?
Well, firstly, it was a dream to have a SG Sunny Tani. I mean, it was like a cool thing. Whoever had it in any of the camps used to feel like, oh, rich kid and all that. Like we had this thing where with Sunny Tani especially, I think that thing.
Brand, it's a brand in itself.
I remember I had got hands on Dravid sir's bat, NCA, and I got it. Someone sent it to me, and I started using it. The season which I spoke about, that whole year, that's the season where I actually used that bat, and I feel best I've had because of the balance or the way it is. Firstly, I thought I'll just keep it in, like he signed it and gave it. I just thought I'll just keep it in the award place or something. But then the balance was so good, then I was like, chalo, ek do ball maar ke dekhte hain. And then it was just like that sound of that bat, that like, you know that, right? You just feel like, and then I was like, chalo, match mein use karte. First match I got 100. Then it became like a superstition thing that, oh, okay, this is the bat. फिर एक बार टूट गई थोड़ी. तो वो 3-4 मैचेस के लिए मैंने कोई और बैट यूज़ करा एंड आई डिडंट गेट रन्स. सो आई वेंट बैक, आई लाइक काइंड ऑफ गॉट ऑल दोस थिंग्स डन. फिर बैट रिपेयर करा के फिर वापस से वही यूज़ करी. सो आई ऑलवेज हैड दैट फॉर एसजी बिकॉज द काइंड ऑफ बैलेंस इट हैड. I always kind of like that balance and the wood especially. So remember I was when I was with the other brand and I told Tuhin that can you please reach out to SG because I really want to use SG bats. And then you were kind enough to change the policy, and then I was using SG bats even before being with SG. And then when that contract ended and when Tuhin said that, okay, we're going to sign SG now, I was actually very happy. I was like, thank God, like half of the stress is gone because now you're with SG. Because I feel you can compromise with a lot of things, but not with your cricket equipments. And I was like, okay, fine. That's the quickest I've said yes to any brand. I'm like, it's okay, that way.
Like I said, earlier also when I figured out that you like a very light pad, and this Dravid's story, which I was not aware of, and if a cricketer wants that lightweight and balance, I think automatically you are attracted towards SG because most of the players who've been with SG, they are the ones who want the balance and the weight to be right.
Yeah.
So how important is gear for you?
Extremely. I mean, without like best equipment, it's very hard now. So I mean, feel especially bats. I mean, of course, soft leather is also very. You have to have that sort of a comfort where you feel like you've not worn anything. You're just doing it like that is the very nice feeling when you don't feel like, oh, there's something which is like heavy on your body. You just feel light. But then I think bats and batters are a love story. I always feel like it's a different kind of a love story. Like you take a bat in your hand and you just know that this is right for you or this is not right for you. So again, with SG, I've never had any instance where I've not felt that this is not the right bat for me. And the balance, I just feel balance-wise and the wood-wise. Like I just genuinely feel we are the best. Like again, people might say anything or whatever. I'm sorry, but I just
feel... there is a story there, the story, like I said, you got back from Rahul sir, and then that Sunny Tani being a from...
Yeah. Again, I feel like SG and Sunny Tani, that branding, and especially as 90s kids, for us, it is like...
etched in memory.
Yeah, it's etched in memory. And when I... because Sunny Tani was something, and then when Tuhin told me that SM18 line is like SM18 is gonna, I was just like, oh wow. I mean, it's like a childhood thing, na? Like Sunny Tani was there, and now it's gonna be like SM18, which is, I was feeling extremely happy around that.
Yeah. And the good news here is that it wasn't something that was forced on. It was something that the market said. It's high time that we have a range because there are so many girls now. Coming into stores, starting to play cricket. So it was a big moment.
Yeah, I don't think many people know. Also, we were the first to do that in terms of women cricketers in India, to have our own range of bats, which is again, I mean,
entire series,
entire series.
Junior bats, you have senior, one odd bat here and there. Some brands have done globally.
Globally, not in India. I don't remember in India we were the first ones to have a range, which was a very, very cool thing.
So, an advice for young kids, for them. What is the advice from you for equipment? What's one thing that you would tell them when they're choosing? You don't have to say SG, but specification is what do you look for in your equipment? How do you select it?
I think
simplify.
Yeah, it's a very personal choice. Firstly, bats, but for me, I like a lot of grains. If there are two different colors of wood, which is perfect, or if there is some. For me, the balance has to be a little in the middle because that suits my game. But again, if you're a front foot player, maybe you might need it a little lower. If you like a little back foot, maybe a little higher. If you're a touch player, maybe a little heavier bat. If you want, it depends again. I feel it's a very personal choice, but only one advice is that don't compromise on it. when you feel it's right, just I feel you need to just invest a lot, because again it's an investment in your own self. You, if you buy the best equipments, you buy the best stuff in your own way possible, in your own ways. I wouldn't like tell them to go overboard with it, in their own ways. But if you do that, it's like an investment in yourself. It's only gonna keep adding to your how you invest in mutual funds. Like, you know, I always feel like whatever you always invest in yourself, you don't know how much you're gonna get back, because it's in your hands. So equipments is one of those. So I always feel like always choose the best and whatever suits you, and don't compromise on it. That's the biggest thing.
Now talking about your favorite shots, so cover drive, everybody talks about it, and the pull shot. So between uh, talking about the gear and your favorite shot, is there a link there? Why a light bat is something that you've always used, and it's helped you in your favorite shots?
Yeah, it's always, I don't know if it's always like, I have always liked light bats. I've never liked a heavier bat, because maybe because I am a little more on the back foot than on the front foot. My game is around that way, and that's why maybe the balance of the bat, if it's heavy, I don't feel right. If it's light, I feel right. And again, cover drive, maybe people might say that they like heavier bats and all of that. But yeah, again, I don't know. The flow of the bat for me has to be very light. I think for more than the shots, for me, the pickup of the bat. Like when you're in the stance, you have, because again, I have a little upright stance, and the pickup has to feel right. So it helps to, for my overall game. In general, cover drive, pull, again, I think heavier bats also people still play it. Yeah. But for me, when I'm in the stance, I that pickup of the bat, when I just pick it up with the top hand, because again, I'm a very top hand dominant player. I'm a righty and I just bat lefty. So I'm just basically just anchoring with my bottom hand. So for that, I feel, because the load has to be lesser on the top hand, I just feel the lighter the bat is, I feel a little more flowy. If I feel the bat is heavy, just like I feel a little stuck. So that's how I again, more than the shots, I don't know. I still might be able to play with a heavier bat, but I don't think I'll feel that good with a heavier bat. Because I was talking I'll start again. I was talking to a cricketer, and a female cricketer, and she did mention she was using a heavier bat, slightly heavier bat, and she said one reason I use it is because there are more slow bowlers than fast bowlers, and for me to clear the boundary, or me to hit hard, I need some weight in the bat. But that was never the case for you. No. I think for me, bat speed was more important, because the way, if I have a heavier bat, I don't think I'll be able to generate the bat speed if I can. So it's always what happens here for me in terms of the bat speed. Yeah. And as much as it is light, for me, this is a little quicker than the other things. So yeah, I feel for me the bat speed was a lot more important than that. Yeah. Like timing was not like that. That was never a problem. Yeah. And I've noticed that with most cricketers at whatever level, if you're opening and you're playing with a new ball. Yeah. Usually people have a lighter bat, and when you come down lower the order, especially in a white ball game, right, you don't have enough time in a T20 match. You just have to hit the ball out. True. So you never have that feeling, let's say you're playing a 2020, you got 80, 90, and then you're batting lower down the order, where now you have to, not lower down the order, last few overs. And you don't feel the need that if you had a heavier one, you could have probably hit easier. I just don't like to complicate my life. It's like you practice you practice with something, you're comfortable with it. Yeah. Like now, all of a sudden, 16 overs, I've batted extremely well. I'm on 80. You don't want to change. I mean, after that, after being on 80, I can't clear for a 6. I don't think light or heavy is going to make a lot of difference, is what I feel. Again, it can be wrong and all of that. I just don't feel But we've seen a lot of people do it. That. Yeah. Like I have few teammates as well who bat at that order. Yeah. They would want a specific bat in terms of having that weight in bottom or something of that sort. But I don't like, I have never been a fan. Maybe I might feel like, oh, okay, I want to feel a different way. There are few bats which I feel कि इससे ज़्यादा लंबा जाता है, इससे अच्छा टाइम होता है, वो सब चीज़ें हैं. But weight के साथ खेलना, because again I'm a very like touch player or a timing player. for me the power has to be within timing.
Yes.
If I change my bat weight, the whole process is gonna change.
Understood. Yeah.
Like people who actually have like the hard hitting abilities, it doesn't matter for them. Like bat weights, they are still gonna be able to do that. When even if I hit a 6, I don't ever overhit it. So for me, that is very important than the actually power. And if I actually know that if I get my bat at the right time and I meet the ball at the right time, it's gonna clear. So that's how I look at it. मुझे वो complication नहीं चाहिए कि ये bat मेरी इसके लिए है, ये इसके लिए है.
एक इसी से एक मेरे को क्वेश्चन आ रहा है. Are you indecisive at all in life?
No, actually I'm not.
That explains, very clear. This is what I want. I don't want to experiment. That's it.
I'm not very. I'm extremely like, if I feel this is right for me, that it will take a moment for me to just do it. And I don't think I'm very indecisive. I have to, मतलब इतना ज़्यादा complications सोचना वगैरह is not me. I feel it right, I'll do it. If I don't find it right, I'll just not do it.
I will now relate it to the environment, that was provided to you by your family, where taking a wrong decision wasn't something that, people would talk about much.
Yeah. That is actually because of them, because they empowered me to be this way, that I am like, even when I go to shop, I'll just shop in like 10-15 minutes. I'm not one of those where I will take an hour to decide something. So in life only, it's like, firstly, इतना time नहीं है.
ये बहुत अच्छा बोला. I think a lot of girls should.
नहीं अभी मतलब ये complication में नहीं जाऊँगी. If you want to take time, please take time. Take 5 hours, 6 hours if you have that much time. Unfortunately, we don't have as much time to do that. But yeah. It has to be like quickly done. ऐसा नहीं कि बहुत देर सोचो.
So one advice, if you have to give to Smriti 12-year-old, what would you tell her now?
I think just be like the way you were. I think I was. I was must like now also it's like that only. I enjoyed batting. I enjoy batting even now. I feel I'll stop playing or something. It's only when I will not enjoy batting, because that's the biggest thing for me. So 12-year-old also, I mean, do the same mistakes. Do everything the way you were. Have that stupid mad passion. It's a good passion to have. And then that time the uncertainty around women's cricket was there. So maybe I'll just tell the 12-year-old that it's going to change, and things are going to change a lot later on.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.